What's up guys, Matthew Gordon here at Landry Auto in Ste-Rose, Laval, and today we're going to talk about the 2023 Gladiator Mojave. But not any Mojave, we're going to talk about this particular one and what makes it so special. So this was actually a friend of mine's custom order. We did this around 4 months ago, and we decided that we wanted something a little bit more unique. So let's talk about not just the Mojave, but what this one has in particular as far as options go. So right off the bat, it's important to remember the Mojave does come with a standard soft top. So what we did here was we substituted the soft top for the painted hard top, as well as we did paint the fenders as well to match. Up front, you will notice that it is equipped with the LED lighting, as well as the Mopar satin grille. This has just had a little bit of contrast. While there are many options for grills aftermarket, we decided to keep it straight from the factory with this option. The hood, you will notice, for anyone that's in the Wrangler scene, you will notice that that is the same hood that they use on the Wrangler 392. If we take a look over here, you will notice these massive Fox shocks, which are phenomenal. One of the biggest reasons why somebody would buy a Mojave, because it's desert rated, the whole idea is that it gives a much more cushioned drive. Even here, you'll notice it does have an external reservoir, which is something you don't see on many other vehicles. One thing I want to point out as well is that you do have, protecting that, you do have this massive steel plate, which does a phenomenal job at that. As far as protecting the body goes, you will notice that just like the Rubicon versions as well, it is equipped with rock rails, which are phenomenal. If we take a look in the back, you will notice the suspension story continues in the back. This vehicle has a serious suspension. If we take a look in the back, you will notice that it did come from factory with the trifold tunnel cover. This is something we did decide to order. There are many different versions available for the tonneau cover. We decided to go for one that was the most slick. If you notice here, we also had the bed liner done from factory. You can always do that afterwards. It doesn't have to come from factory, but we just decided to make it simple and easy, a one-stop shop. You will notice that all the little detailings are in orange with the Mojave, and we also ordered the tow pack. One thing in this particular situation is that we didn't know if we were gonna need it or not, but we decided that it's always cheaper to get it from factory rather than add it afterwards. So just as a precaution, we did include that in our build. This one does have the security pack, which I do want to point this out because you don't see this on many of them. You do see the rear sensors, as well as the blind spot detection, which is part of that group. You also have LED taillights back here. As I mentioned before, it does have the body color match roof, and it is in 3 pieces. So you have the one large segment in the back, as well as 2 removable panels up front. And if we go over into the rear, so you're gonna see here that it does have the leather seat. It does have leather seats. This is the black. You do have a lighter color as well, which is an option. What we have in the bag over here is the front plate bracket. If needed, let's say we were in Ontario, that can always be mounted up front, or if ever you wanted to put something up front. Down here, we do have the bag. This bag is actually for the 2 front panels just over here as a storage. And just below here, talking about storage, under these seats, they do pull up, and you do get a reasonable amount of extra space underneath. This is coincidentally also where your jack is located should you ever need it. As I mentioned before, this one does have the security pack, so it does have the blind spot where this will light up when needed. Let's take a look up front. Once again, you do get these really nice leather seats. The finishings, everything is done in orange on the Mojave, like the Rubicon would be red, and the Mojave is orange. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick peek inside at some of the features. So I'm just gonna shorten this stick here. Don't mind the beeping. So you do have the 8.4-inch touchscreen, which is standard on this vehicle, as so is the Alpine sound system, which we'll just lower that, as well as we don't need that either. So let's just stop it from beeping. If you look down here, you will see that it does have a rear locking differential. The front doesn't lock like on the Rubicon, but the rear does. The idea of this vehicle is that it's meant to be a high-speed desert racer, while the Rubicon is more of, how do I say that? More, I guess, slower speed off-roading. If you look here, you do have your four-wheel drive auto. This is an option. This is not a standard feature. What's nice about this is that instead of always switching between 2 and high, the vehicle will choose for you. So let's take another look outside. As mentioned before, this vehicle is Jeep's one and only desert rated vehicle, and it does come with its own unique badging, as well as Mojave written across the hood. But let's face it, anybody that sees this on the road, you can tell immediately from its aesthetic and its stance that it is the Mojave variation. One thing to point out, that it does sit up front about an inch taller than the Rubicon. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll be making many more of them. And once again, last but not least, actually, this is in granite crystal metallic. I don't believe I mentioned that. So have a wonderful day, guys. All the best. And if ever you need anything, feel free to reach out at any of us here at Landry Auto, or you can browse our in-stock inventory at www.landryauto.com. Have a wonderful day. Bye.